have in this country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chair. To our nominee, our constitution, we heavily borrowed from advanced democracies, US, UK, Canada, some Scandinavian countries like Sweden. But the best practices are not borrowed. We see ministers in these countries, whenever they are faced with flaws or mistake, they resign. But in the history of our country, we've seen ministers saying that some of them that may be known to you, that they rather die than resign. We get a lot of challenges during our working, especially these high-profile positions. There is a lot of pressure. And somebody accused you of being temperamental. Are we going to see a change that whenever there is a flaw to you, maybe in the course of your work, the pressure increases higher than normal, and your hand moves closer to somebody at a speed faster than lightning? Are you going to resign? As flimsy, as petty as the offense is, but are we going to see more responsible minister this time round?
Next, Morogara.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this is to the nominee. Water is everything. In fact, they say water is life. And especially to poor rural folks in the poor areas of the country, the arid and semi-arid areas, which include my constituency, Tharaka Nithi County, the eastern region, Ukambani, the northeastern region and the northern parts of Kenya. We are now experiencing a drought. There is a hue and a cry in the country, not just on the part of food, but on the part of water, such that it has become a way of life that every 3-4 years there is a drought, and the cycle is repeated whereby we have no food, our livestock die, and the rivers that traverse those areas actually dry up. My question is, as a measure of extreme urgency, dharura, what plans do you have to ensure that this problem in the rural areas, in the dry areas, semi-arid areas of the country, this problem is ameliorated such that it is not going to be a cycle. It may be a one-off, but not a cycle that is repeated every 3-4 years to the detriment of the citizens who live in those areas.
Thank you, Chair. To Honorable Alice, and I would really advise and recommend that you really visit every part of this country when you're in that docket, so that you can actually feel the whole issue of water and how some parts of this country, people are really suffering. And so I do empathize with Kenyans in various parts of the country that have not had a drop of rain for 2 years now, and there has been no water for domestic and animal use. The case of human suffering is in the increase, while loss of livelihood continue to characterize life in the arid and semi-arid areas. And this is a matter of now, urgent. What urgent interventions and reforms will you put in place as a cushion to the devastating drought situation to see to it that households and school-going